Hey, what's going on everyone? In this video, we're going to learn about HTML, how to write HTML, and what happens when we write HTML, how does it print out on the website? Okay, so first we got Nike.com in front of us, and what I want to show you from Nike, first of all, it's a beautiful website. They always encompass the newest features. They've got beautiful photography, okay? They got a great layout as far as how their action buttons are, like shop and their menus. And so what we're going to do is we're going to learn from Nike, okay? And we're going to do Control Shift I, okay, on the website. And you don't have to do this yourself if you're just following along, but if you want to actually do this with me, do Control Shift I, and you're going to see this is how this website is laid out. What I want to do real quick with this website laid out like this, I want to explain what these are. These are called elements, but I want to go in depth with letting you know what these things are, like this little thing that says head, body, iframe, script. You notice that they always start with one and then end with the same name with a slash. Let me tell you about these real quick. So the entire web is made up of something called elements, okay? Elements are part of HTML, and here's how they look. So an element always starts out with this less than symbol, and then it has like the name of the element, whatever the element's called, and the website already knows all the names of these, so it's not like you can make up these names. These names, you can like look them up on the internet and see each one has a different use case. All right, so as you learn to program, right, you're gonna learn what each one does. But for just for right now, for purposes, I'm basically showing you how the element is structured. So the name, and then it ends with a greater than sign. Okay, so we have this, and then it ends with one. So we do a less than sign again. We do a slash to let it know this is the end of this element. We put the name, whatever the name was here, we write that name again here, and then we close it off at the end with another greater than sign. This is all elements are for HTML, okay? Some elements, instead of closing, see this little slash right here that lets the website know when you're closing an element? Sometimes, okay, that slash is up here, okay, on a couple of elements, all right, and we'll talk about those, but sometimes they don't need an actual closing tag here, but that's all an element is, okay, and whatever goes between it is what the website knows what to put on the web page. Honestly, these words right here is what's called HTML, and this is what shows up. If these words weren't here, the website would know what to do, what to put together, what words to put down. So this is HTML. This is how the website learns what to put on the page. So if you look, first and foremost, every single website always starts out with this exclamation mark doc type HTML. Okay, you don't have to worry about it. It's what you put on the very top of your document. Okay, and if you notice, every single time that you have an opening besides doc type, when you have like an opening one like this, okay, like HTML, it always has a closing. So the next you have body, and body closes. Okay, same thing for script, and then script. So every single, it's called an element. These are elements. Every single one that we start with or we put down, write down, we have to have one that ends with it. So script, and then it ends with script. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm using codepen.io. So basically when you go to the website, this is a way that you and I can basically I can explain stuff and then you can pick it up pretty easily. It's just a coding environment. Usually we'd be using Visual Studio Code, but this is going to be the easiest way for me to teach you HTML. So the first thing that we have here is the doc type. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to type the doc type, because we're going to be making basically our own little website. So we're going to do doc type HTML, okay, and then here we're going to do the HTML that's like on the website, and then down here we're going to close it off. Now like I said, every element starts with, okay, it starts with like one of these little characters, and then it's the name of the element. This right here is the element, okay, then it ends, and then we put a little character and a slash, and the one that always ends the element has a slash like this. This one doesn't have a slash, this one does. So you want to do this little character here, and then the slash, and then HTML, and then that character. Okay, so this is a standard. This is what we're going to see in and out for learning HTML. Okay, the next one is body. Okay, so body is what's going to be like the content of your website. And what I'm going to show you real quick is just how this looks like on a website, okay? Kind of like in a diagram. So the HTML is right here, all right? So we're going to say this is the HTML, and this is going to be in yellow, So this is our website right here. Okay, this is the full page of the website, right? Like Nike icon would be here, the navigation would be here. Now, the next one, the body, literally is just like right inside of it. Okay, so that's all this is. And so this one would be, so like our body here, this body tag is going to be this body. Okay, and technically there is no like spacing. I just kind of wanted to give you a little bit of spacing because right now they're like right on top of each other. Okay, HTML is the body. Okay, the body is the HTML. Okay, so that's how that works. So right now we HTML body, and now we're gonna want some content. Okay, so we're gonna skip out on this icon and this navigation and stuff. Right now we're just gonna go down. We want to make this thing, it's kind of like a little feature. It says win from the start. Okay, and it's really big. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to CodePen and we're gonna do an H1. Okay, H1 means heading 1. Okay, it's just whatever you put in here is gonna be really big text. Okay, so this one here we're gonna put what does it say again? Win from the start. So we're gonna do, and it's in caps, win from the start. Okay, and we're gonna leave it alone. And if you see right down here, it says win from the start. Okay, so this is this part right here. And if you want something a little bit smaller, there's a tag for that as well. So we're gonna go down here and we're gonna write a we'll do an H5. Okay, and H5 is the lowest that it'll go. These are basically all titles you can use that the web page knows, hey, if we have an H1, make the text bigger. If we have an H5, make the text smaller. And you'll see that here in a second. So right here, we're going to put everything you need for the biggest school day of the season. So everything you need for the biggest school day of the season. Okay. And that's what we're going to put in our H5. Now you can see it's maybe a little too small. So let's put this up to like an H3. Okay, so it'll automatically fix it for us here. Now that looks better. All right, so win from the start, everything you need for the big school day of the season. All right, and then down here, we need to be able to put a button in for shop. So for Nike, it says shop. So what we're gonna do is with HTML, you can also add your buttons. Okay, so same thing. It's just gonna, you're just gonna put button. You're gonna encase it in between these greater and less than symbols. And then same thing as all the other elements. We're gonna do that one of those symbols with a slash and then button again. And inside this, we're going to do shop. Okay, with caps. So now, not shop 0. So now what we have is we have a feature that they have. Okay, theirs just looks a little bit better than ours, but this is literally the HTML for it. Okay, and someone got paid probably I don't know, probably for Nike, probably 90,000 plus for making something like this, if you can believe that. Okay, web development is not a cheap it's not a cheap skill to have. Okay, web development pays, trust me. So what we're going to do now is we're going to build out another feature, and the reason why I want you to build another one is because repetition is key. It's just going to get you more and more familiar with some of these tags and something new, right? That's how everything new works, repetition. So what we're going to do is down here we're going to do another H1. Okay, and if you want to, instead of like doing this like all the time, right, and ending it with this, you can just do, you can name the element, okay, like this one, H1, and then you can hit tab and it'll automatically make it for you. Save you so much time, okay, if you're going to be doing a lot of these. So you can also copy and paste the old one and then just delete the text, but this is how I like to do it. So the second one here on Nike is new this week. Okay, so this is going to be like whatever their new stuff is. All right, so new this week, and then underneath it we have another button that says shop new arrivals. Okay, so we have a button. I'm just going to do button and tab. Okay, or you can write it out. And then this is what was it? So shop new arrivals. New arrivals. Okay. Now we have two different ones, right? Win from the start, you know, and then we got this new this week. Now we have two different features already. This is what HTML is. Like literally we could go and we could spend 5 more hours of making these, but like you know what it is now. This is what makes a website, okay? Now there's some other things we can do to kind of group things, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and show you one of them. So these are all individual ones, right? So H1, H3, button, H1, button. Now, if we wanted to put like a color on the body, okay, it's going to color everything for us. But, and we're going to get to CSS later. Now, we could honestly stop the video right here and just go, hey, go look up all the HTML for yourself. You can practice them. They're going to show up down here. You can learn, like there's tons of other ones, but I do want to show you a couple more for this HTML video. So one of them is called an input. And when you write an input, you just want to do slash, and then this symbol there, you don't want to put like a whole nother you know, slash and then close it out, right? So we wouldn't want to do like this. Okay, we don't want to do slash and close it out. It's just slash and this. Okay, there is no need to do that, and there's only a couple elements like that, and you'll familiarize with some of the popular ones, and you'll get it down pretty easy. So there's an input here, and on top, just to make it useful, we're gonna do like first name. Okay, so first name. So down here we could do something like, you know, John Doe. All right, so that could be the first name. This is what an input is. All right, so whenever you need an input for data on a website, like a newsletter, or, you know, somebody fills out a form to buy something, credit card information, you're on DoorDash putting information in to come to your house, this is what this is, okay? All people are doing on websites is they're going down and they are putting these inputs in for you. Later on, we'll figure out like how to get data from these and whatnot, but just know that like these do exist. Now look, this is all part of HTML. Like I said, you can build an entire website with just HTML and then style it later. So all I want to do now is, okay, because we could keep going and going and going. What I want to do is I just want to delete everything that is in between our body here, and I just want to delete it. And we're going to go through and I want to show you one more thing, and then we'll go on to the next video. So something that's really important is if you notice that all those elements here are all just like back to back to back. Okay, if you wanted to do something where like you wanted to group these up, all right, you couldn't do that right now because everything is technically nested underneath body. All right, so if you see body, H1, H3, everything is just on the same row, okay, underneath body. All right, if you want any kind of grouping, okay, there's something called a div, D-I-V. Now the reason why you want to use a div is because you can put content together, like you see here. You can do H1, H2, H3 all together, and then you can stylize those, which we'll find out how to do later, separately than other content on your page, right? So you could take everything inside this div and let's say color it yellow text, right? And then the next one you could wrap in a div and color everything red. Okay, so it's a way you can group everything, so that way you can kind of make things how you want just for that group. So you can stylize groups. So that is what makes divs very powerful. And just to break it down a little bit for you, because I wish somebody would have taught me this, like just breaking things down a little bit further, so that way I really deeply understood the topic. A div is just basically a group of whatever you put into it. So for example, if we have like an H1 here that's like hello world, and then we have an H2 that's like hello again, and we have an H3 that's like yo. All right, so if we have these three things, okay, I'm gonna copy these, and what this div is going to do is the div basically groups the elements like this on a web page. Okay, so if we were to write this out, as you can see, like you can't see like the outside of a div because it's invisible, but the div is what kind of groups things together. So you could write like another div here, and inside the div you could do like another three of these. Again, you're going to see no change here, but for styling later, this is when it becomes important. So basically this is just the basic HTML video, okay? I just wanted to show you how it gets structured. There's obviously a lot more elements that do certain things on a website. Some of them are used for accessibility purposes, like for people that are disabled, that need like readers like on a website because they can barely see it, they want to hear it, okay? There's some elements that help out with that type of thing, okay? Other than that, we're going to go on to the CSS video now, but I hope this has helped break down what HTML is. You got to see how a website takes HTML and turns it into something. And then from here, we actually got to see how to write it. And here, hopefully that gives you a little bit of a demonstration on exactly how HTML breaks down. So I will see you guys next in the CSS video.